first rule of being the hotel inspector is never assume you've seen it all. What is this place?
I thought I was coming to some gangbanging convention.
I'm Alex Polizzi and I'm an award-winning hotelier.
Hello!
But it's Britain's worst hotels that give me sleepless nights.
There's a stench in here.
I just check on the cesspit.
This place just depresses me. I've seen the bizarre.
I've got loo roll envy. That's never happened to me before.
The ridiculous.
Why would you have a poo brown feature wall?
And the downright ugly.
Ah! This has to rank as one of the ugliest rooms I've ever seen.
I've brought countless hotels back from the brink. Hoteliers think they know what to expect from me. But I'm coming more prepared than ever. This is my first attempt at covert ops.
No, I've had enough.
You've had enough. You have had enough.
Stick up for your business, for God's sake. Clearly what I need to do is maybe punch him once or twice in the face.
You can't be told.
Tell what?
You want to have an argument on
No,
the chain?
we want to finish all the rooms, right?
How do you work out what your occupancy is?
I don't know how to do that.
For God's sake. So struggling with this.
This week, a family-run hotel
Hello, Mum. Where are you?
with an ambitious owner
Spent way over £1 million.
I'm deeply confused.
in way over his head.
Why, in every single bedroom, you don't hang up mirrors?
I don't want those mirrors and that furniture.
Who are these people? What kind of hotel are they running?
Usually, I'm called in by the hotelier. This time, the call for help has come from his family. Should alarm bells be ringing already? Set in the idyllic countryside of the New Forest, Hampshire, is the 43-bedroom Forest Park Hotel.
I need an electrician. Norman!
Owned by builder and entrepreneur Sean Perry.
This is my office, where I work from. This is my building empire and my hotel empire. And it's got a door straight out to the garden, so I can run away.
4 years ago, the hotel was set to be bulldozed by developers when born and bred local Sean came to the rescue.
I always sort of had it in mind. I'd like a hotel. And it was my local pub, you know, families, friends, weddings, funerals, they were all at the Forest Park. And I thought it'd be really sad to lose it. You all right there? Someone looking after you? The day I bought it, I wouldn't come here. I was thought, what have I gone and done? Because it was really run down, it was doing no business. And I had absolutely no experience at all of hotels.
In the absence of any industry know-how, Sean has turned to his family for support running the business.
I've got my daughter Jessica, who's receptionist.
My dad can be strict sometimes, but he is quite soft as well.
4, 5, 6. This is my niece Carla.
Hello.
And that's my sister-in-law Karina.
He's lovely at the moment. But you never know, it could change.
7, 8, 9. 9 direct family members, all work in one way, shape or form. That's the family dog. No, don't jump up. Come here, come here. Yeah, come on.
As a successful property developer, one thing Sean does know is the building trade.
Hang on a minute, it's me plumber. Hi, Cole.
And the refurbishment of Forest Park has become his latest, most ambitious project.
Spent way over £1 million, and probably to get the rest of the hotel finished, be another £1 million. Downstairs, a bit of a building site at the moment. I'd like to come in, remove that fireplace, straight through, all of that. It's going to come down, there's going to be a huge conservatory. Yeah, I'm a very impulsive person, jump in the deep end. All right, John, see you later, mate. Cheers, bye. So it's all go. Probably more foolish than impulsive.
On top of overseeing the refurbishment with the hotel still open and running his building empire, Sean has also recently inherited yet another job.
In the last 3 years, I've got through 8 managers. So eventually, after the last one, I decided I'll manage it myself. Don't forget, 35 chips each, that's it. Keep an eye on it.
But hotel management is no laughing matter.
Sybil?
A fact my research into this place makes abundantly clear. Currently, Forest Park is languishing at the bottom of travellers' preferred hotels on internet review sites. So obviously there's quite a few problems here. And it's not just the reviews that have sent stress levels soaring.
What keeps me up at night is always finance. The fear of not paying the wages, the fear of those winter months when you've got a lot of staff on and the business just isn't there. But I absolutely love the place. You know, from a kid when I used to sneak in and play the fruit machine and wasn't old enough to drink in the bar, to ending up owning it, and it would be a real sin to give up.
If Sean was to walk away, he stands to lose upwards of £1 million, not to mention putting half of his family out of a job. The New Forest is a huge pull for tourists, but I need to find out why they aren't staying here.
Well, it's pretty obvious that the renovation hasn't quite arrived at the facade yet. I'm surprised that they don't have people just arrive here and then drive straight out again. The general disorder of things really puts me off.
Normally, my first port of call would be to seek out the hotelier, but as Sean's daughter Jessica called me in, it's her I want to speak to first.
Hi, Jess. They told me I could find you here. I'm Alex.
I'm Jess. Lovely, nice.
Excuse me. Do you mind coming over and chat with me? Come on then. So tell me, why did you want me to come?
I think there's a lot to tackle here. I think Dad struggles because he has so much going on and it's all kind of left to him and he doesn't have time. He says he's going to do something and it doesn't get done.
Who amongst you has hotel experience?
Don't think any of us do.
How much time does your dad spend here and how much time does he spend on his other business?
He's mostly on his other businesses. I think Dad thinks he can do it himself and that's his problem.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Currently, Forest Park offers 2 tiers of accommodation: refurbished and unrefurbished. To road test both, I've invited an assortment of customers to stay the night and cast their critical eye over the rooms.
I've been in enough hotels to know what kind of mistakes hoteliers are making, but this time I've brought in my own paying guests because it's their opinions that really count.
First for inspection, the refurbished honeymoon suite.
Hi, it's Alex.
Charged at over £200 per night. What will my first guinea pig guest think?
Hello, Alex.
Oh la la.
Welcome to the honeymoon suite.
I love your balcony. That's very
Great, isn't it?
nice.
Yes.
And
Just
you-
be nice to have some chairs to sit on out there.
That is absolutely true. I mean, it is nice.
It's just the detail lets it down slightly.
Tell me what you mean.
Well, it'd be nice if the mirror was on the wall instead of
yes.
just propped up in there.
Yeah.
And the bathroom is lovely. Have a look at that. But again, they're just letting themselves down by not finishing properly. I would imagine the idea is to have a full mirror, so this is all unfinished.
Though designed to a high standard, it's the details that let this expensive room down. If you're going to refurbish a hotel and stay open while you do, you can't afford to make such basic mistakes.
There is a checklist of things that you should have in a room, and several of them seem to be missing.
Next, I want to see the other end of the scale. A standard room, unrefurbished, costing £70 for a night's stay.
Hi.
I think that was our reaction a little bit as well.
Gosh, you guys got the short straw. Oh, darling, I'm sorry. Yes, this is very unrefurbished.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
Well, this is obviously a hotel that doesn't quite hang together yet. I understand that they haven't completed the programme of refurbishment, but it does seem to be done in a very odd and somewhat haphazard way.
I'm yet to meet the man, but I'm amazed an experienced builder like Sean has carried out so much work without any sense of a plan.
The breakfast room, I presume. You know, what's the point of having nice rooms if this is all so dingy?
And just when I thought things couldn't get any worse...
And what is this room? I can't understand why you would leave a room in this kind of disorder. It just doesn't give a good impression, does it? Who are these people? What kind of hotel are they running? I mean, why is that not in the office? Do they really want a guest to be able to... I mean, any can walk in here and have a look at their... Let's have a look at their complaints, shall we? There are no complaints. That's good news. This room has now made me angry. If you can't be bothered with this, who's saying that you're bothering about the big stuff? You know, if you can't manage the details, are you actually going to be able to manage the major things?
A point perfectly exemplified when I spot a handful of Sean's staff enjoying the afternoon sunshine while still at work.
Hello! I mean, there's masses of them out there, and no one in here to answer the phone.
Good evening, Force Park yourself.
I honestly have no idea where to begin. I mean, clearly what I need to do is find Sean, grab him by the scruff of the neck and maybe punch him once or twice in the face. Possibly, however, channeling my inner zen, I ought to just go up to my room, calm down and try and marshal my thoughts for the morning.
I'm at the Forest Park Hotel in Hampshire, owned by builder and entrepreneur Sean Perry.
It's probably the best hotel in the world. Is that tap still leaking? It's not in a good state of repair at the moment, or management, or operation, but I think it's the best hotel.
Having stayed the night, I think Sean's opinion puts him firmly in the minority. Forest Park feels more like a building site than a hotel.
It really offends me when someone who's good at one thing thinks that they can transpose their skill set into being a hotelier. It's just not that simple. It's like brushing your teeth and then thinking you can be a dentist.
As a wake-up call for Sean, I want to show him the hotel through the eyes of his guests. This may be the first time we've properly met.
Follow me.
I'm following.
But I'm not about to mince my words.
OK, so I thought it was useful for you straight away to get what my first impressions were and what I think you've stopped seeing. Honestly, darling, I drew up here and it didn't look to me as if this place was open for business. I mean, you know, it looks like a place that only someone truly desperate or deranged would want to come and stay at.
I think when you're a builder, you get yourself tied up into the big picture and you forget about the immediate.
Well, all right, but what about the trailing wires, darling? It looks like a bodge job to me.
Yeah.
Can we go in?
I know the renovations are still work in progress, but there's no excuse for a first impression as bad as this.
I'm not even going to discuss this area with you, just clear it up.
Yeah.
But this, it's like walking into an antique shop. What look are you really going for?
Just a bit shabby chic. I mean, this is all...
I don't think you know what shabby chic means if you think this is shabby chic, darling. What you're not doing is telling a coherent story to your guests. Yeah. What are you doing here? Who are you? What are you trying to aim for? What are you trying to achieve? Who are you trying to welcome? I mean, none of that is clear.
Yesterday, this breakfast room was my bête noire.
You know, your manky menus. Breakfast.
Oh, God.
Sean's slipshod approach to running the place couldn't be more apparent than here.
I was pretty calm, and then I got cross with you when I saw this. Like, why? Why this? Why the photocopier? Why the filing cabinet? Why the hanging rail? With the table made up as if someone's actually going to sit here and have breakfast. Explain that to me.
The photocopier and the filing cabinet have got to be moved to the top floor where they're going to stay, and we just haven't got down to doing it. And then this room is...
What, you're expecting people to spend 200 quid a night, and it looks like you just have... I mean, who's got a clue around here? The point is, these are all your nicest rooms, and they are not customer ready. Everywhere I've gone in this hotel, something is happening. And successful builder, surely there is a kind of schedule, surely there is an order to the routine of work. I mean, that seems to have completely gone by the wayside.
No, I think you're right.
Explain to me your system. Why, in every single bedroom that I've gone into, you don't hang up mirrors?
I don't want those mirrors and that furniture, so I put a mirror there and then thought, I don't want to put that mirror on the wall and ruin my wall. I'll wait till I've got the right mirror, and then it gets left and forgotten.
It seems to me that there's some really basic systems missing here.
If the half-finished state of the hotel is anything to go by, I can only imagine how Sean's staff might be struggling.
Hi, are you Jerry?
Yes, I am.
Nice to meet you, I'm Alex.
You?
Hi, darling.
Oh, Jerry.
Head housekeeper Jerry has worked here for the past 13 months and is one of the only staff regulars who isn't related to Sean.
So, how many of you are there in your department?
4 altogether.
4 altogether.
Including me.
And when it gets very busy, I mean, how do you manage the rotas? How do you manage the peaks and troughs of the...
Well, I do the rota,
Yeah.
but because it's family, it gets changed. So I've worked every weekend since I've been here for a year.
Oh my God, darling. I mean, that end.
No, I didn't know that. I'm not nepotistic.
I did try a couple of weeks ago to get a weekend off, but it was changed because they didn't want to work.
It was quite a shock to me to find out that Jerry hadn't had the weekends off. He probably didn't want to come to me because it was my family, and my family probably felt they could change the rota because they're my family, extended, and that's a real problem. So I didn't know that, I was unaware of that. If I'd have known that, I would have stamped on that straight away, Jerry.
All right, darling. Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's
Thanks,
nice
Jerry.
to meet you.
And you?
Thanks, Jerry. Didn't know that.
Well, I didn't know that either. I didn't walk you into that knowing that. Business and family. It's an age-old conundrum. Ultimately, I think I'm in favour of family working in the small business. However, it depends on every member of the family really pulling their weight, being very sure about what their role is, and making sure that the business comes first.
It's issues like this that have ultimately led to Sean's most pressing problem: the relentless bad reviews, none of which have received any response from the owner. Yesterday, I invited 7 guests to spend the night here. Now I want Sean to face up to their feedback.
I've read some of your reviews. You've never responded to any of them.
No, I know.
I wonder if that's because you prefer to ignore anything that they're saying. It's a bit harder to ignore when the people are right here in front of you. Here you go, darling. Tuck yourself round there and let the games commence.
Lovely. See you soon.
All right.
With Sean wired up to listen in and tucked discreetly out of the way, I'm hoping my guests will talk candidly about their overnight experience.
So, dun dun dun. How was it? How was it? How did you sleep?
I did ask for a quiet room away from the main road, but they positioned me above the reception on the main road.
Oh my God!
It wasn't too bad though. But...
Sorry. Okay, and let me ask you two next.
If it was for longer than one night,
Yeah.
I think we might have had a bit of a problem because we only had a rail.
Yeah, there was no actual cupboard.
We didn't have
No,
any
it was a rail and about 6 coat hangers, which
Where
was
did
a little
you put your
strange.
knickers, I asked myself. I don't know. I had the same problem. Mr. Luca, what did you think when you arrived at the hotel? What was the curbside appeal?
Very poor. Not inspiring at all and not inviting. Potentially, yes, a lovely building, but...
There's lots of nice places to stay around here, aren't there?
There certainly are. There's some very nice hotels in Brockenhurst and the surrounding area. It wouldn't have been my first choice, no.
Is there any other staff interaction that any of you can comment on, or that you can...
identify the staff. Who are the staff?
Okay.
Criticism like this is never easy to take, but if Sean wants to banish the bad reviews and start making some money, he'll need to start listening to his guests.
Hi, darling.
Hi.
Did you think that was fair?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Lots of things I probably know, and it's how to make that work properly. Pulling it all together is difficult.
Something really simple like uniforms. Why haven't you done that?
Well, I did try to tackle uniforms about 18 months ago. They turned up, give them to girls, and they really didn't like them, and it caused a lot of reception level.
I know, but you know what? The thing that upset me yesterday was there was a big group of people who all work at the hotel, who are all your family and friends, sitting there drinking in the garden. I never saw anyone go and check the actual paying guests were having a nice time. And I think they'd have been a bit more embarrassed to do that if they were in uniform. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's definitely something that we're going to have to look at in general.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. It's been an illuminating morning, but there is just so much to tackle here. It's slightly blowing my mind. From the haphazard approach to the renovations to the casual way that the family, the staff are working here. You know, I know Sean seems really ready to take criticism, but I'm not sure if he's ready to take it on this scale.
Before I can tackle the hotel's broader problems, I need Sean to start dealing with the basics, and for that, I'm taking him back to the drawing board.
Checklist.
The overall headline is to think like a hotelier, not a builder.
Yeah.
So on the practical side, we've said enhance the exterior, and that means making it as good as it can be for the moment. Yeah?
Yeah.
Finish the rooms that you started.
Yeah.
Essential.
I think I was just racing along as a builder.
On the professional side, and how to make this look like an operation that knows what it's doing, I think you have to have a crack at uniforms.
Yeah.
As a professional manager, you need to at least cast your eye over rotas.
Yeah.
Get them to write them, but you should sign them off. I mean, it's not rocket science.
No.
But you can't leave it up to the people who have an interest in it. No. And I think you're perfectly capable of all of this.
Yeah, it sounds exactly where I'd like to go.
If Sean can deliver on the practical front, I've committed to restyling this upsettingly ugly breakfast area. This space needs to match the standard of the hotel's higher-end bedrooms. Less discrepancy should mean more happy customers.
You know, ultimately, I understand that you are a man with many demands on your time. But having taken this on, I think you've got to pull yourself to spend more time here.
That's the difficult path that I thought was easy.
Yeah.
Sean's right. Turning this place around isn't going to be easy, but he needs to realise the time is now to stand any chance of saving the hotel.
More than anything, I hope that by the time I return, he's managed to make that switch from thinking like a builder to thinking like a hotelier.
By the end of this summer, if I haven't got it running really well and it's not profiting how it should do or on the way to the level where it could be, then I seriously think that would be probably time to sell up and just move away and regret it.
I'm at the Forest Park Hotel in Hampshire, struggling to help owner Sean breathe new life into his business.
I'll tell you what makes me feel proud when I see the lawn mowed. It looks lovely.
I think the truth is that Sean doesn't have very long to prove to me that he can actually turn this around. He spent a lot of money on the hotel and isn't making any.
Try and look good when you're doing it. You might get yourself a girlfriend.
He's got terrible internet reviews and disgruntled guests at every turn.
I think she'll be pleased that there's a mirror fixed to the wall, I hope.
He's got to make a change because otherwise I'm not sure that the hotel, at least in its current form, will be there next season.
Oh, I'm passing out. Lovely.
On my last visit, I left Sean with an extensive to-do list. But has he managed to start thinking less like a builder and more like a hotelier?
This is looking so much better already. There's brand new signage. There is car parking information. They're hanging baskets. It's starting to look like a hotel that's actually open for business.
Even with a hotel that's under renovation, you can't afford to ignore the guest experience. In this business, first impressions are everything.
Wow, this is transformed. It was so dark and dingy and cluttered with all this stuff which had no relevance to the hotel. Let's go find Sean. Hello, darling. How are you?
Very well. And you?
Yeah, good. This is looking great.
Yeah, slight improvement.
And the outside is starting to really look a lot better. Are you spending more time here?
Loads more time, yeah.
Are you? I want to know how you're getting on with the list. Have you got it available?
Yeah, shall I bring it out?
Yes, please. Right, so tell me what you've managed to tick off.
This is well on the way.
Yeah.
Curbside appeal. Hooks haven't done. Headboards are work in progress.
What is that then?
This is my welcome pack, which isn't complete yet.
General information. Fantastic. I mean, you're on it.
So I've been really looking at the internet review sites and answering all the customers, and that's a painful thing to do. But it does enlighten you.
Well, I have to say I'm impressed.
I think it's key that he's replying to the internet reviews. Instead of shying away, he's being confronted with what real paying guests think. It's reinforcing a lot of what I said already, and I think also it will bring up other problems and it will mean that he starts tackling them.
One problem I've already seen enough of is the hotel's lack of basic professional standards, especially when it comes to staff, including family.
How are we getting on with this stuff?
Right. Uniforms, they should be here now, and we're literally any minute they'll be arriving. We've got name badges, which have arrived.
Why aren't you wearing a name badge?
Because then people will know who I am and they'll know to attack.
That's exactly why you should be wearing one.
Yeah, I didn't get one for me, so...
Don't worry, I have help at hand.
I've got a name badge. There you go.
Very good, now people know. Sean is definitely working to his skill set in that he's finding it much easier to get on with the kind of practical stuff rather than the procedural stuff. But that's something I can help him with.
In my short time here, I've seen enough to know that some of Sean's family simply don't see him as a boss, and that's something we need to change. But before I can do that, I need the whole clan on board, starting with daughter Jess.
Hi, my darling. I've heard a lot from your dad and not nearly enough from you. So I've noticed a few things about the staff I wouldn't like if I was running a hotel. But I think that they're largely due because the rules aren't clear. So I'll tell you something that set off alarm bells for me. There was quite a big grief of you all out drinking in the garden. Yeah. And that in my hotels is like a really big no-no because otherwise paying guests feel as if they're being ignored. Do you think that that's a fair comment?
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes staff will come to me and say, "Oh, can you just ask your dad if I can have a day off?" And I'm like, "You need to go to my dad."
That's a matter of routines. Like if someone wants time off, then they have to fill in a requisition and they have to get it signed by somebody. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then that avoids you being right in the middle of it.
I do get stuck in the middle all the time.
Yeah. Everything that I'm going to try and do now with him is going to be to try and boost his abilities as a manager, make him feel like stronger, because I think it will help everybody and every department.
Yeah. I think Dad, a lot of staff aren't like, they don't have to be scared of Dad, but they don't see him as a boss sometimes.
Okay, so I've got your backing. All right, that's what I needed. Thanks, darling.
With daughter Jess on board, it's crucial that I help Sean learn the skills he needs to be taken seriously as a manager.
What is absolutely obvious to me is that he's still not tackling the staff correctly, and he's got to do that. He's got to get job descriptions done, procedures done. He's got to implement staff meetings. He's got to become a better manager.
To brush up Sean's less than impressive management skills, I'm sending him to the beautiful Burley Manor, a hotel and events venue with an exceptional reputation and a manager to match.
Hi, my name is Alina. Welcome to Burley Manor. I understand that Alex sent you through just so you can have a little bit of insight in the life of a manager. So if you'd like to follow me, please.
Thank you.
Just straight through. If you'd like to mind the rounds,
Alina
please.
Verjoga has over 10 years of experience in high-end hospitality and has agreed to give Sean an insider's guide to running a hotel. First on the agenda, it's the heads of department meeting I think Forest Park so desperately needs.
So, gentlemen, we will go through the end of this week first. We have 2 weddings. The first wedding, we have 58 guests in total. So we have 57 starters plus 1 vegetarian, so that would be 58. However, on the mains, there's no numbers.
So that needs to be corrected. Yeah, Lena as a manager, she seems very, very efficient. So when you get something turn up short notice, a function or something, how do you deal with that? I've got quite a family-orientated business and nobody wants to work short notice.
When we do a rota, we do make them aware that this week that we are servicing will not change unless somebody is sick or something happens. However, next week it's still slightly subject to change due to business needs.
So you let them know in advance?
So we do,
change, yeah.
we do.
I've been doing a rota sort of almost week to week, so people only really know on Sunday what they're doing on Monday. When Alina said about the rota, and that was a penny drop moment, I thought this just makes absolute sense.
I'm going to go now and actually put the information that we've just discussed onto what we call a staff information area, just through here. Thank you. So we're going to go into probably the most used area by all the staff.
Right.
And basically this is where they would come in and get their lunch or coffee or tea. So we've actually chose to use this area as a communication area from us to the staff.
That's always a bit of a problem at my hotel because internally, like management, me, I kind of know and I tell one person and if they don't tell everybody else. So to have an area like that, then there's no confusion and that's, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, no, it's a really good lesson today. Yeah.
I'm glad
Very
you find
worth
it useful.
To actually come out to a hotel that's running really efficiently with a top manager has been wonderful.
So we're back at reception. I usually start my walks from reception.
It's all about procedures, checklists and working with your staff and giving them the information they need to be able to work with you. Thank you very much.
You're most
Really
welcome.
great.
It was my pleasure. And good luck.
Lovely. See you soon.
Thank you.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. That's exactly what I've always wanted to see. I knew it was out there and now I can go back and see if I can do that myself. So yeah, really good, definite turning point today.
Back at Forest Park, the first phase of building work is finally getting finished, and I've got a surprise in store for Sean.
I've had a message from Alex. I'll see what she says.
Hi Sean, I hope your visit to Burley Manor was very productive and that you picked up some valuable management skills. With this in mind, I'd like to put on a mini launch event to show off some of the newly refurbished areas and also to show us your new managerial skills. I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks. Bye.
Oh my God. Oh God.
Can Sean step up? Or will Forest Park's relaunch fall flat on its face?
Norman!
I'm on my way back to Forest Park, hoping Sean can become the manager the hotel has been crying out for. I've asked Sean to host a small event to mark at least a temporary cessation of the building work. It's a celebration, but it is also a chance for Sean to show everybody that he's stepped up to the plate, that he's taken his builder's hat off and he's put his manager's name badge on. And unless he can do this and do it successfully, I really worry for the future of Forest Park.
Hello!
Hi, morning Alex.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
It is looking fab.
Saw your instruction.
I think back to my first visit.
Yeah.
It's transformed this place.
Yeah.
Let's go and look in the dining room, shall we?
When I first arrived, this area had my blood boiling. People were expected to eat breakfast alongside filing cabinets and photocopiers, and the decor was dated and dull, a poor match for the hotel's premium rooms. My makeover has created a more sophisticated space. Subdued colours complement simple furnishings, while soft uplighting makes for a subtler ambiance.
Aren't you pleased with it?
Oh, massive transformation. Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Darling, it looks so smart. People coming here who are spending 150, 200 quid a night now get the full package. They don't just get that value in their rooms.
It's all gelled together and become the start of a very nice hotel.
Doing up the downstairs is all well and good, but if Sean doesn't start managing his staff properly, this place isn't going anywhere.
So was it useful, your trip to Burley Manor?
Alina was a brilliant manager. I started to learn about, weekly meetings, daily briefings.
So have you managed to do any meetings?
Actually, we've got a little briefing right now to talk about what we're going to do today, a function effectively.
Oh, great.
Yeah, after you.
Thank you.
In just a few hours, the hotel will be packed with 45 influential guests from the New Forest community. If Sean can impress them, it will be his first step on the road to banishing the bad reviews.
To make today a success, Sean must communicate properly with the staff about what's happening, about the timings, about the numbers, who's serving the drinks, who's serving food, who's welcoming people. He needs to make sure that he is the person, the kind of still eye at the centre of the storm.
Hi everybody, just having a bit of a brief on what our function is today, and it's we're welcoming a group of people to the hotel to have a look around and see how we've done an uplift on the front into the restaurant, the hallway and into our rooms. So we've got a group of people coming at 11:45ish, glass of bubbly. Jerry, are you all okay?
Yep.
Right up, tip top, no concerns? No. Jess, everything all right around reception? No problems, kind of no screaming customers or anything? No. Great.
The only thing that I would add on to that is when you're doing something like this, it's quite nice that everyone's aware of what everyone's responsibilities are.
Sean certainly appears to be talking the talk, but I'm not convinced his staff are quite so sure about what they're supposed to be doing.
There's only about half an hour before people start arriving. I mean, I haven't seen glasses, I haven't seen plates, I haven't seen napkins and stuff. But, I'd be really disappointed if they managed to fuck this one up.
As the guests begin to arrive, my fears look like being confirmed. No one is taking responsibility for welcoming them in.
If you want to give me your coat, I'll hang it up. It's chaos. No one thought about coats, where you put them. It's raining outside, people have umbrellas. It's supposed to be a celebration. At the moment, it's just lots of people milling about an entrance hall. Sean's got to fucking step up.
With the staff lacking any direction, I need Sean to show some leadership.
Shall I let everyone know? Well, follow me.
But instead, his focus is elsewhere.
My mum does the flowers, 2 daughters a reception, son's the gardener.
It's a complete lack of organisation because he doesn't understand on an event like this. He shouldn't have a job because he's going to be floating, but there has to be someone tasked with every other aspect of today.
Just when I'm about to lose my rag, Sean decides to make an appearance.
I never talk too much in all my life.
My chance to give him a much-needed prod.
Shall I clink a glass and then you can welcome everybody?
Yeah, go on then. Hi everybody and welcome to the Forest Park Hotel, or the new Forest Park Hotel. With a lot of help from a lot of close family, friends and elsewhere, we've really carried on with our renovation. So you're here today to come in and see what we've done, see where we're going, and hopefully go away and tell everybody and make us busy. So,
Finally, Sean is exactly where he needs to be, looking after his guests and selling this place for all it's worth.
But this is the area that we've just renovated for now to open our restaurant.
So he's incredibly affable and he genuinely wants us to work. I mean, he still needs lessons in how to run the function, but they're recovering well. It's starting to look like it might go okay.
Who are you and who let you in?
Of course, the people Sean really needs to impress are the ones that stay at the hotel. So I've invited back some of my guests to find out what they think.
Bit of a transformation?
Big transformation, I think.
I like how much brighter it is, especially like out here. You move into here and, you know, it's one solid theme all the way through. The service is fantastic now. Like,
good.
People are right on it. Like you ask for something and you're greeted with a smile. You can find something so much more easily.
That's one of the things.
Yes.
Well, the two things, they've got uniforms, they've got name labels, which are a big thing. So now you know who is staff. That helps, doesn't it?
It makes it a lot more personable. You know, it's easy to interact with the staff now.
Such positive feedback is a real indication of how far this place has come, a genuine antidote to the bad reviews. But what does Sean's daughter Jess make of her father's progress?
I think he'll always just feel a dad, but I think a bit more so now I'd look at him as a manager or a boss.
Oh yeah, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
I'm proud of my dad.
I'm incredibly pleased and proud of what we've managed to achieve in such a short space of time. I've certainly given him some skills that he needed in the interim to be a better manager. But this is going to be a long, hard slog, and whether he achieves it or not is ultimately going to be up to him.
Hello. I'm Sean, the owner, manager. Could I carry on and become a hotelier and become successful? I think a little while ago I'd have said no. Now I feel the hotel's going to turn around and I can make a success of it, and I think a lot of that's to do with Alex.
You've just got to remember to keep your manager's hat on.
And badge.
And badge. Yeah. Keep the routines going. Remember that guests like to talk to you.
Yeah.
You mustn't run away from them.
Taken on board.
All right, darling. I've had such a great time working with you. I've really enjoyed it. And I'm already looking forward to the revisit.
Lovely. Thanks very much. Thanks, Alex. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I never wanted to be a manager of a hotel. I wanted to own a hotel, renovate a hotel, watch it go along, have a manager. Now I feel I can call myself a manager. Though be it a young one in the early stages, I'm going to be a manager of a hotel.